everyone, welcome to our digital dance studio. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Miss Amy and I'm going to take you through a ballet class today, which will be at about a grade 1 to grade 3 levels. Everything that we do today in our class, I'm going to teach it to you first without the music, then I'll do it with you, talking you through it as we do it with the music, and then I will give you a chance to do it on your own. And there might be some times where I'll do a simpler version for our grade 1 to 2 dancers, and then I'll do a slightly more difficult version for our grade 2 to 3 dancers as well, and you just follow along whichever Miss Amy is doing, whichever version, okay? So the first thing that we're going to do is our warm-up, and I've actually got a little yoga mat there just to cushion under my feet and cushion under my knees, but if you're dancing at home on carpet, then you might not need to. Just make sure that your dance space is clear, tidy, and there's nothing that you could trip up over or hurt yourself on, okay? I'm going to stay on my mat today, but while we are doing our marches, skips and runs, you can feel free to move around your space as you like, as long as you're being safe, okay? So we're going to stand really tall, and I want you to imagine that you have a string on the top of your head and somebody is pulling it up to the sky so that your spine is really nice and long, okay? So we're going to start really tall, pulling up our knees, we're pulling up our belly button, and we're pushing our shoulders down. We're going to start with 8 marches. So you can either do it on the spot or you can travel around your space. And we're going to point our toes every time, getting into every muscle of our feet and toes. So we're going to do 8 of those. Then we're going to do 8 skips, and they don't have to be really high skips, but you do need to point your toes, and you're trying to point your underneath foot as well, the one that's pushing you off the floor to get you nice and high. So we're going to do 8 of those. Then we're going to do 8 counts really fast running, and if you want you can stretch your arms up to the sky as you run, and then we're going to do a roll down our spine. So I'll just do it from the side for you. We're going to suck our tummy button in. We're going to start to the top of our head, down each bone in our spine, through those bones, and we're trying to keep our knees nice and straight, all the way down as far as you can go without letting your knees pop, okay? And then we're going to uncurl, making sure that our head is the very last thing at the end. And we're going to do that twice through. Shall we have a go with the music? Here we go. March. You can swing your arms a little bit as well. Point those toes and skip. Run, stretch your arms. Fast as you can go, up high on those tippy toes, and roll down. Here we go again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and skip. Run on your tippy toes. And we roll down. And we stand up really tall. Okay, dancers, I hope you're feeling a bit warmer now and your heart rate's up a little bit. So now we're just going to do a second warm-up to get us ready and to make sure that our tummy muscles are feeling nice and activated and nice and strong, okay? So dancers, we're going to start on the mat, and we're actually going to start on all fours, and we want to look like a table. So it's really important that we have our hands underneath our shoulders and our hips underneath our knees. So we don't want to be making any funny shapes like this. We want to be as table-like as we possibly can, okay? So what we're going to do is we are going to do, you might have done this in a yoga class or something before. We're going to do the angry cat position. And how we're going to start it is we're going to imagine that our tummy button is sucking into our spine first. So we're going to suck it in and then we're going to make our angry cat. And then we're going to stretch back out. And we're going to do that 2 more times. So angry cat, really squeeze that belly button into your spine, back to table. So we're not going to the cow position like you might do in yoga. We're just going back to our table, trying to keep our spine nice and long. Then we're going to do it a 3rd time. Angry cat, back to the table, really lifting that belly button up to the sky. And then we're going to kneel back onto our bottom on top of our heels. We're going to reach back. Now you might want to have a little yoga block or something here if you can't quite reach. And you can either lean this way, trying to keep your knees on the floor so we don't want to pop our knees off, and get a little stretched feeling here at the front. Or if you're feeling a bit more flexible, you can push your bottom up off your heels, but you have to keep your knees down on the floor and get a bigger stretch. And we also want to make sure that we're trying to keep our legs together as much as possible when we do that lean back. And we're just going to do that twice. We go back and we start there, okay? So let's have a go with the music and I'll talk you through. Okay, so we're here in our tabletop, nice and long, eyes down. Squeeze that belly button and back to our table. Breathing out. Back. Table. Last time here. Nice and long. And we sit back. We're going to do that 2 more times. Here we go. Squeeze. And long. Squeeze. Sit, back we go. I'm going to push up this time. And 1 more go. Here we go. Squeeze that belly button up. Try and make a nice rainbow shape with your spine when you do that bit. And nice and flat. There we go. Last stretch. Push. And back we go. And see if you can get that nice long position. Great dancers, now we're ready to move on to the bar, and you will need something to hold on to today as well. So if you don't have a bar at home, that's absolutely fine. You can use the back of a chair, you could use the edge of a table or even a windowsill. As long as it's not too high, you want it to be kind of around your belly button height or just a little bit higher, but not as high as your shoulders, okay? So we're going to start today with our demi-pliés exercise at the bar. And the reason that I've chosen to do it facing the bar today is just to help us do something called staying square to the bar. So this means that if we imagine our hips are 2 corners of a square or a rectangle, and the bar, if it draws 2 straight lines to the bar, that's the other 2 corners of the square. And we don't want to twist our hips away so it ruins the shape. We want to keep our square nice and square, or rectangle, okay? So we're going to just start with our feet in parallel and prepare to first position. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to teach you the grade 1 to 2 level exercise, and then I'll teach you the grade 2 to 3 level exercise, okay? So the grade 1 to 2, we're going to just do demi-pliés in first position, second position, and third position. So remember, our third position is almost the same as first. It's just that when we close, our heel just keeps going to be just in front of our elastic. So we don't want to cross it over too much because that's fifth position and we're not quite ready for that yet. So we're starting first, and on the introduction, we're going to place our hands gently, fingertips on the bar. We've got our lovely lifted spine and our tummy is nice and strong because we've just practiced our belly button lifting exercise, haven't we? So we're going to do a nice slow demi-plie. Down, 2, trying to keep our knees over our toes. Stretch, 3, 4, and really try and go an extra little bit when you stretched up. Then we're going to do two demi-pliés in 2 counts. 5, 6, 7, and 8. We're going to do a slow rise, and I want you to imagine that your bottom muscles and your belly button are squeezing so much that they're going to lift you off the floor. And we're trying to get our heels off the floor as high as Mummy's highest high heels, but we don't want to go up onto the tip of the toe. We're still on our demi points there, okay? So rise, rise, lower, lower, dégagé. We're going to dégagé our right foot today to second position, out to the side as if we're drawing a lovely straight line between our 2 big toes, and then we're going to lower through our foot into second position. You might want to just take it a teeny little bit further out, okay? Not too wide because we don't want to fall down into the splits, do we? And then we're going to do the same thing in second position. Down, 2, 3, 4, knees out to the side, really pushing those knees back, stretch, demi and stretch, slow rise, bottom muscle squeezing together, belly button lifting us up, shoulders pulling down, lower those heels, nice and controlled. Point that right foot again, and then we're going to close it in third position. We want to try and keep our knee as stretched as possible when we do that. And we're going to do it in third position, so down, down, up, up, down, up, rise. This one's tricky. This time we're going to go to the side, and we're going to close it derriere. So derriere means behind, remember. Good job. Here we go. Same thing in third position. That's it. Slow, 2 quick, rise up as high as you can go on your demi points, lower the heels, and then we're going to dégagé the other foot on the end, back to first position, and we're going to bring our arms back down to bra bar. Okay, I'm going to talk you through it now, so let's start square to the bar, lovely turned out legs, tummies lifted, long spines, a lovely beautiful princess neck. Imagine you've got a crown on your head and our lifted elbows in our bra bar. Hands on the bar, here we go. That's it. Try and keep your spine extra long all the time through this exercise. Lift that belly button, down and up. Push away from the floor, lifting, lifting, lifting. And lower. Dégagé to second. Lower in second, nice and simple. Slow demi-plie. Not too far down. Remember, we're just a demi-plie. That's it. Down, up, rise, lower. Dégagé. Closing third, lift, 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 lift. Keep that tummy nice and lifted. Knees out to the side. Try and hold your turn out. Oh, I think I made a mistake there, never mind. We're going to rise. Lower. Dégagé to the side, close. Derriere. Here we go. Oh, I've done it again. Never mind. That's it. I wonder dégagé. Lowering first, arms down, and then we're going to look out into the distance. So now we're going to do a little bit different demi-plie exercise for the grade 2 to 3 level. So this one is going to be the same, facing the bar, nice and square, nice lifted bodies. We're going to only do first and second position, but this time, instead of doing demi-plie in 4 counts, we're going to do a grand plie, or sometimes called a full plie. So we're going to go down in 4 counts. Now, this one's quite tricky. You have to stay lifted and imagine that your heels are stuck to the floor with lots of sticky glue or chewing gum, and that you have a balloon on top, in between your legs, and you don't want to squash them down, okay? So we're going to go through a demi-plie, and then we're going to squash the balloon a little bit without popping it, and our heels are just going to come off the floor as much as they need to let us go down into the grand plie. So that's our grand plie in first position. Let's try again. So we've got hands on the bar on the introduction. Demi, full plie, knees out to the side, demi and stretch. Now 2 little demi plies, the same as the grade 1 to 2 plies. We do our lovely rise, our lovely lower. We dégage our right foot out and we lower in second. We're going to do the same thing in second, but there's a difference. Okay, so when we do our grand plies, sorry dancers, in second position, our heels stay down on the floor. We're just trying to make a lovely straight line between one knee and the other knee as far as we can go. So we don't want to go all the way down. Ooh, that doesn't look very nice. But we do want to go nice and far down so that we're trying to make a lovely straight line between our knees. So that's our grand plie, 2 demi-plies, a rise, lower, dégage back to first, and then we're going to do it all over again. The second time we just dégage our other leg, okay? So let's have a go with the music and I'll talk you through. Hands on the bar, here we go. Now we're lifting our belly button as we go down so we keep our body nice and tall. That's it. Down, up, knees out to the side, keep hold of your turn out. Push, lifting, 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 nice and tall. And dégagé. That's it, lower in second position. Take your hands with you. Demi, full, demi, nice and controlled. Demi, stretch, demi, stretch. Push, nice and tall, as high as you can get on your demi points. Dégagé, get the weight back over your supporting leg. Good job, here we go again. Down, lift. Push the heels back down to make you stand up. That's it, keep them nice and flat now. And lift. Lower, dégagé, and second, here we go, down, that's it, try and stay nice and tall. It'll be easier as we build our strength in our legs and in our tummy muscles. Push, that's it, dégagé. Wasn't it? Well done, dancers. Now we're going to move on to our next exercise, which is our battement tendu. And if you remember from any of your other classes that you've done with me, or maybe with your other ballet teachers, our battement tendu is a nice stretching out, and we actually want to push through our feet, through every little bone in our feet, and we're pushing down into the floor, but we want to be really careful that we keep our body still, so we don't want to let our body go with it. All right, which is actually why we're going to do it facing the bar today, so that it just gives us a reminder to keep that nice square position without letting our hips go, okay? We don't want to do salsa tendus. This is not strictly, okay? So we're going to start with our right foot in third position. So we're doing all of our tendus today from third position, and this is going to be the grade 1 to 2, so the slightly simpler exercise. So we're going to start with our hands on the bar, nice and tall, lifted, tummy's long spine. We're going to do 4 slow battement tendus devant. So it goes out and in, and we really want to keep those knees stretched and pulled up as much as possible. Out and out, really point that toe. In and in, out and out, in and in. 4th one. And then we're going to go to the side. So we want to try and make a straight line between our big toes. We don't want to go too far to the side, because then we're not going to be able to keep our leg nice and turned out, okay? So we're going to do side, and this time, instead of closing back where we came from, we're going to close derrière. Okay, we're going to do it again. Side, close devant. Devant is in front. One more time. Side, close derrière. And then we're going to do a little rise, or a high rise, please, and lower. And we've got the other leg ready to start again. So we're going to go 4 to the front, 2, 3, 4, 3 to the side, rise and lower. Okay? Let's see if we can do that twice through with the music. All right, let's have a try. Tall, squeezing those legs together, lifting your belly button, and a lovely long spine. So no banana backs, thank you very much. Ready? And out. Try to keep that heel rotating so I can see it in the middle. That's it. I want to see the diamond on your heels. There we go. Make a lovely swishing sound on the floor. Let's go to the side. Are you keeping your hips nice and square? Side, close in front. Try and keep lifted on your supporting leg. That's it. We're going to do a little rise. Ready? Let's start again on the other side. Out and in. Good job. Nice and tall. Pulling up on this supporting side. Out. One to the front. Are you keeping nice turned out legs? Side. Close derrière. Try to keep those knees as stretched as possible. That's it. Side. And behind. Rise. There we go. Good job. Now for the slightly more complicated exercise, we're actually going to do this all on one leg first, and then we're going to stop and start again on the other leg, because this one's a little bit longer and a bit more difficult, okay? So we're going to have the same pattern, standing facing the bar, both hands on the bar, just resting gently, the fingertips, we don't want to be grabbing, remember, and nice and pulled up with our right foot devant in third position. We're going to do our 4 tendus to the front, just the same as the simpler exercise. So we go out and in, 2, 3, 4, and then we're going to do our 3 to the side, swapping back, front, back, rise and lower, exactly the same as the other group. Here we go. Now, instead of swapping legs and starting again, what we're going to do is we're going to do a battement tendu derrière. So this one's a little bit more tricky. We have to stay lifted on our supporting leg, and we have to push away with our little toe leading the way, okay, so that we don't get some horrible turned in position. So we push away with our little toe, we push through right to the tip, and we want to keep nice and lifted on our supporting leg, body nice and tall, but I want you to imagine that Miss Amy stood behind you and I'm pulling your leg from your big toe like a big piece of elastic just to get it even stretchier, okay? So we're going to do that 4 times. Out, and when we come in, on the way back to third position, we're going to lead with the front of the heel, okay? So we lead out with the little toe and lead in with the heel so that we keep that nice turned out leg to the back. 2, 3, 4, and then we're going to repeat the one to the side. Front, a back, a front, rise and lower. And then we're going to stop and we're going to do it all again on the other leg. So now that our feet are nice and warmed up from those tondus and we're really feeling really strong everywhere, we're going to do our retires exercise. So that we're going to have a little bit of balancing on one leg here, all right? So we're going to have our hands on the bar. We're still facing the bar. We're still practicing being nice and square. We've still got our lovely posture. And retire in ballet actually means to draw. So we're not going to draw a funny picture. We're just going to draw some lovely straight lines up and down our leg. So can you turn your feet into felt tip pens, and they can be whatever colour that you like, your favourite colour. I think today I'm going to choose peach. I'm feeling very peachy at the moment. Okay, so we're going to have our hands on our bar. And what we're going to do with our feet is we're actually going to make a licking action with our right foot. So our right foot is going to lick the floor and stop at our ankle bone on the inside. So we're going to go lick to there. And we really want to be quite careful here, dancers, that we're not going to get any sickle feet or crossing our knee over. We're trying to keep really parallel here. So we've gone lick to the ankle. Then we're going to draw up to the inside of our knee. We're still in parallel. We're going to hold it, use your muscles nice and strong, and then we're going to come back down on count 7. We're going to do it all on the other leg. Lick, 2, draw up, 2, hold it there, 4, 2, put it down, and then when we've done one side and the other, we're going to turn our legs out to first position, keeping that nice long spine, no banana backs, okay? So then we're going to have the same thing turned out. So we're going to do our lick, and you can really see when I do it turned out, dancers, that licking action along the floor, there, to my ankle at the back this time. And then we're going to draw up the side, up to our knee out to the side as much as possible, pulling up tall on this supporting foot. Hold it, back down. And when we're going back down, please remember, we're not just collapsing, okay? We want to go back down the way we came, nice and controlled. And then we're going to go on the other side. Lick, draw up, hold it, back down, parallel. Now, one more thing. Whenever we're doing something on one leg, I want you, especially that we've got the bar to hold on to, we don't want this to happen. Watch, I'll do it really wrong and I'll see if you can see what it is that I'm doing. Oh, that feels horrible. If I take my hands off the bar, what do you think is going to happen? I'm going to careful, okay? So you want to make sure that you're right on top of your supporting leg, dancers. All right, the second time we're going to do it all again, but this time when we get to the top and we're holding that position of our retire, we're actually going to just test our balance and see how strongly we're standing on our supporting leg. Are we pulling up nice and tall? Have we got all of our toes inside our ballet shoes nice and spread out on the floor? Are we holding our tummy in? Are we holding our spine nice and long? All of those things that we have to think about, okay? So let's have a go. I'll talk you through. Tall spine. Here we go with the right foot. Lick. Make sure I've not got any sickles. All the way up. Right inside of that knee. And control it down back to parallel. Tall. The other foot. Lick. And draw that line with your favourite colour all the way up. Hold it. And draw the line back down. Turn out. Lick. To the back. Have you got your knee really out to the side there? Up we go. Try not to let your hips move. Nice and tall. Good job. Keep trying. All the way up, growing taller. Like a beautiful flower. There we go, down. Back we go, one more time. Lick and draw. And balance. Can you do it? Ooh, no wobbles. Let's try the other leg, lifting. All the way up. Have a little balance. Ooh. Good job. Good try, everyone. Turn out. Let's try this time. Lick. Draw all the way up. Knee out to the side. Have a balance. That's it. If you're struggling to balance, suck your tummy button in even more. All the way up. Knee out to the side. Nice turned out legs. And back down. Ooh. There we go. Nice and tall. Okay, dancers, so now we're actually going to do the very last exercise of our bar work today, of our official bar work, and we're going to do fondues. So there are a few different kinds of fondues. Fondue, I wonder if you've ever eaten a fondue. I have to say that I have never eaten a fondue. A fondue, you can get cheese fondue and you can get chocolate fondue, and it's where you've got lots of melted cheese or chocolate, and then you dip things in and eat it, and apparently it's absolutely delicious. So we are going to make our legs be fondue, so we want them to be really melty, almost like soft, squidgy, melty cheese, okay? So it's a little bit like a demi-plie. So sometimes when we say fondue, it means that we've got a bend on one knee. And then sometimes we have a battement fondue, which goes through that lovely squidgy position out and then back in. But today we're just going to do our preparation fondue. So we're going to start with our right foot in third position. Gosh, we've had lots of third positions today, haven't we? But we're getting really good at those now. And we're going to use the licking action that we just did in our retires, okay? So with this front foot, we're going to lick, and we're going to have our little toe connected at the front of our ankle, okay? And the front of our ankle is called coup de pied, or actually anywhere on our ankle is called coup de pied, and it means the neck of the foot. So if you think about the neck of your foot is your ankle, isn't it? Okay. All these ballet terms, all right. So we're going to have a fondue. As we do this licking action with the front foot, we are going to do a demi-plie on the supporting leg. And I know it sounds weird, but just remember that string that we had at the beginning. I want you to imagine that as you're doing your plie down, somebody is really pulling you up so that you stay nice and on balance and we don't just collapse like a sack of potatoes, okay? So we're going to have our hands on the bar. Remember, nice and square, lovely long spine, no banana backs. And we're going to do down, down to there, and then we're going to reverse it back to where we started. And we're going to do 2 more of those, nice and simple. So we're just concentrating on getting the movement right. And I wonder if you know what I'm going to say about this knee. You're right, it needs to be back so that we keep our turn out. We don't want to let it come in at all because we'll get a horrible sickle foot and it will look absolutely horrible. We don't want that. So that was our third time. We're just going to do a dégagé and close derrière, okay? And then we're going to do it all again on the same leg, except the licking action is going to be with our back foot. So this time it will be our big toe on our ankle at the back. That's it, keeping our nice turn out. Once, twice, 3 times. And then actually we're going to do a little rise and lower, and we'll just finish there. And then we're going to stop and we'll do it all on the other leg. So I'll give you a little bit of a rest and a chance to shake your legs out. Okay. So we're going to fondue front foot. Get that licking action, both knees out to the side. We're squeezing our bottom muscles and our tummy muscle. We've got that person pulling us up, so we're getting longer in our spine every time. Dégagé, side, close, derrière. Here we go, derrière. Peel, knees out to the side. That's it, it's the big toe at the back of our ankle this time. There we go, good job. Nice and tall, fondue, stretch, and we do a little rise, and lower. Okay, dancers, so now that we've finished the barre, we're actually going to come into the center of the room and do our center practice. So the first exercise for our center practice is usually our port de bras. And if you've done your class with me before, you will know that your port de bras is all about the movement of your arms and your eye line, and it's about having emotion and telling a story. So even if you are doing a very simple, basic port de bras, first, second, and down to bras, we don't want it to look robotic. We want there to be something else going on. So you can use your imagination to either just have some kind of picture or image in your mind that's going to make your port de bras just a little bit more interesting, or you could have a little story or something. I'm sure some of my old grade 1 girls will remember that we had the story about going to the ice cream shop. It's not got anything to do with our actual arms going for ice cream, but we told the story of going straight to the ice cream van and taking it all the way back home and then sharing it with our friends. So that was something like that you could do, something very simple. Or I like to imagine that I'm painting lots of bright, lovely colors all around the room with my arms, and I'm watching them as I do it. But now we're actually going to add something a little bit extra. We're going to add direction, and specifically we're going to add the direction croisé, okay? So it's actually lucky that we've got our yellow squares on the floor in here today. So I'm going to turn and I'm going to face with my hips and my body to the right diagonal front corner of the room, of my space. So if you look at me, you can see that actually I'm a little bit too far round to the side for the audience. So what I'm going to imagine, you can imagine this to have a box around you, but I'm actually going to use the yellow box. And I'm going to instead just turn my hips to face that corner. So now you can see it's a much nicer angle, and it's much more appealing to watch. Okay, so now we've got our corners, and we know that we're not going to go too far around, so we have our hips directly facing the corners like some headlights. But actually, the reason that it's going to be croisé is that it has a particular foot in front. So if I'm going to face the right diagonal front, for the position to be called croisé, or the direction to be called croisé, I have to put my left foot in devant. I have to have my left foot devant for it to be croisé, okay? If I'm going to turn to face the left side, sorry, getting my lefts and rights mixed up, I'm going to have my right foot in front. So just remember, croisé is right corner, left foot in front, or left corner, right foot in front. So I want to see how well you can remember that rule today for croisé. So what we're going to do, we're going to have a lovely slow port de bras, so that you can really have lots of imagination and creativity with what you're thinking about or the story that you're going to try and tell. So we're going to start facing the front, and I wonder who might remember what facing the front is called in ballet. So it's not called croisé, it's called en face. Okay, so en face, we're facing en face. We're going to do, just with our right arm, a basic port de bras to first, second, down to bras bar, and then we're going to do the same on the other side. First, second, down to bras bar. We're going to do it with both arms this time, so a proper basic port de bras, opposite the belly button, nice round curved arm lines. Second, down to bras bar. We're going to take a reverse full port de bras, so all the way up to fifth. And as we do that, we're going to rise up onto our demi-points, and we're going to do a little tippy toes to face croisé with our left foot in front. We're going to open our arm out to the side to fourth position, back up. We're going to open our other arm to the other side, fourth position. And then we're going to open like a big flower, and we're going to take our front arm down behind us at the back, and the other arm is going to reach forward, so it's like we're looking out and beyond our finger. We're going to do a spin. Round we go. Look, I've brought my arms to third position. We come back to the center, back to where we started, and we lower the heels, and then we're going to do it all on the other side, okay? So let's do it with the music. We'll figure it out together, and then you'll have a chance to perform it on your own without any talking from me. All right, dancers, so here we go. with the music. We'll do it together, both sides, and I'll just talk you through so we don't get lost. Okay. That's it. Lovely bra bar, nice and tall. Just the right arm. Open and softly down. What are you imagining while you do this one? That's it. Out. Down. Good job. Both arms. We're looking into our hands and then we share it with the audience. That's it. We're going to do our reverse full port de bras to fifth. Rise. And we tippy toes to croisé. Lower the heels. We open our front arm to fourth. And all the way back up. Nice and slow so that we're going to make it really big. We don't want to be collapsing. And all the way up. Now we're going to take one arm forwards, one arm back to our arabesque. Imagine you've got a lovely diamond necklace here and you want to show it to me. We do a spin around, look over your elbow, back to the front, first position, nice and tall. Lower everything down together. Should we have a go on the other side? So we're going to go with the left arm now. First, second, look out. That's it. Imagine that you are a ballerina with the Royal Ballet Company. That's what I do. And I'm in the Royal Opera House and I'm performing to the people right at the back. I want them to see how shiny and glowy and wonderful I am. That's it, all the way up, reversing, all the way up. Onto our demi-points, we're going to go croisé to the other side. Lower the heels, that's it, open the arm to fourth. Are you still lifting your belly button and making sure that your spine is nice and long? Shoulders down. You've got some lovely big giant dangly earrings to go with your diamond necklace, and you don't want them to touch your shoulders. That's it, push down, looking to infinity and beyond. Spin and open. That's it. And finish nice and tall. Gorgeous. And if you like, you can even finish in your own ending position on the very end. Something magical and creative. So now we're going to move on and we're actually going to practice an exercise that's going to get us ready for pirouettes and turning movements. So we're not quite ready for pirouettes just yet, even though I know that I see a lot of you like to swizzle around on one leg, but we're actually just going to practice one of the most important bits, which is our spotting. So what I want you to do is I want you to find somewhere right in front of you, and I want you to imagine that you've got laser beams shooting out of your eyes. You're focusing so hard on that spot. And we're going to stand nice and tall in parallel, and we're going to have our hands on our shoulders. Or you can have your hands on your hips, it's up to you. So we're going to rise up, and we're going to turn our body to face the sides. Let's go to the right first. So we're going to go to the right, and we're going to keep our laser focus fixed on that one thing, and then we're going to lower our heels and snap our head straight in front of us, and we're going to find a new spot just there to laser on, okay? Then we're going to do it again, rising up, tippy toes, just a quarter turn, and snap. And then we're going to go again, rise up, tippy toes, a quarter, snap, rise up, tippy toes, a quarter, snap. Okay, so it's really important that you find something to look at, because if you just go, oh, I'm just going to look over there, but you're not going to have anything to actually focus your eyes on, it's going to be really difficult. So you might want to decide now what you're going to look at in every direction before you do the exercise. Okay, so we've done 4 quarters all the way around. Then we're going to do a half turn. So we're going to go rise up, spin. We're trying to keep our laser focus as far as we can go. Snap, rise up, turn, snap, and then we're going to try and do one full turn, keeping our eyes on that front focus, that front spot. Tippy toes, whip the head around, and down we go. So did you see how I went? Body, head, body, or body, eyes, body even, or when we did the full turn. And then we're going to try and do it going to the other direction. So let's have a go with the music, and we'll see how we get on. Nice and tall, we're in parallel all the time, and we want to keep our eyes nice and level. So make sure when you're finding your spot, it's not too high and it's not too low. It's right at your eye level height. Okay, here we go. Ready? Rise, snap, rise, turn, snap, rise, turn, just a quarter, rise, turn. Now we're going to go halfway, snap, rise halfway, snap, all the way around, find the focus, good job. Let's go straight away to the other side, rise, snap, rise, tippy toe, snap, rise, tippy toe, snap, rise, tippy toe, snap, half turn, keep your eyes looking, snap, keep your eyes looking, head around, all the way around, whip, ooh, Sammy was a bit wobbly there. well done, dancers, for joining us today in our digital dance studio. I'm so proud of you for coming and doing this class. Well done. Now we're going to finish our class there, and then next time we're going to build on some of the things that we did today and make them maybe a little bit trickier or a little bit more advanced. So the last thing that we need to do to finish is we just need to cool down. So we're going to do a big port de bras stretch and a reverence. So our reverence is our curtsy or our bow if you're a gentleman. And that's just how we're going to say thank you to each other. So that's thank you from me to you for coming today. And a thank you from you to me, maybe, for leading you through the class. All right, here we go. So we're going to take some really deep breaths. Ready? Here we go. Breathe in and down. Bigger one this time. Reach higher and open. Last one. We're going to interlace our fingers and push our palms up, and we're going to stretch our feet to parallel and fold forwards. We're just going to have a little dangle here. So if you want, you can rock your hips from side to side. And then slowly uncurl through our spine. Back to first position. Here we go with our reverence. So I'm going to do a lovely curtsy. And I'll do a bow for